Leadership 2. Develop a plan that shows how you would lead a change initiative, digital and collaborative, through its implementation. Consider the various stakeholders involved and your own leadership reflections. So my change initiative was to introduce Chromebooks into my Year 1 class with the support of a buddy class to enhance their learning and allow students to be leaders and work collaboratively. Why this change initiative? Number 1, change of teachers' mindset. I wanted to change teachers' mindsets from a fixed to a growth mindset around the use of technology in the junior classroom within our school. Number 2, not using technology as a babysitting tool. Within our school, especially in the juniors, they tend to use the devices as a babysitting tool. Here's an app to reinforce your learning, as opposed to here's an app that we can use across the curriculum. It also allows for collaborative tasks within different levels of the school. It will support my OTJs with evidence, and our school was far behind in technology for the junior school. So who are my stakeholders? Students, senior management, and teachers. Students were my main stakeholders because they were in my classroom. I wanted them to be able to develop the skills to use technology in the classroom, not just for reinforcing learning, but for helping them to raise their student achievement through authentic learning tasks. Senior management. Senior management were a big stakeholder as I needed their support on board to be able to get the Chromebooks for my classroom and to provide evidence for them that it was accelerating students' learning. Teachers. Most of our teachers in our school had a fixed mindset when it comes to technology in the junior classroom, so I needed to use my growth mindset to coach other students. Gutshell 2014 states, in the workplace, managers with a growth mindset were more likely to coach and help their employees. So once I have the Chromebooks working in my class, I wanted to be able to help other teachers in the junior area school to develop authentic learning tasks to help raise student achievement. My early adopters. Students were my first early adopters as they were willing to give new things a try, and they were motivated to succeed. So they wanted to do well at these learning tasks to improve in their learning and be able to talk to their whānau and community about what they were doing in school. Senior management, I believe, will also be early adopters as there's a positive benefit to having evidence stored for OTJs on these Chromebooks, and it will help raise the student achievement. My leadership. I believed I used the transformational style and emphasis the quality of relationship between the leader and the follower through ethical role modeling, motivation, and caring for individual needs, Francesco 2012. He also discusses 3 main roles of transformational theory. The first is that of a motivator. In my classroom, the purpose is to motivate all students towards using Chromebooks for authentic learning. The leader must continue to focus and refocus students towards these goals, finding new ways to motivate and achieve effective learning experiences. Within my classroom, I created several authentic learning experiences using the Chromebooks, and my students and I would develop goals as to what we wanted them to achieve. The next role that's discussed is that of the communicator. This is the leader's role to support students when necessary and look at ways for students to reflect on their learning. Within this, I allowed my buddy class to also help me with gaining and having effective discussions with my students to reflect on their learning towards what they were using the Chromebooks for. The third role is that of the facilitator of communication. Within my change initiative, this involved teachers and students building trust and wanting to learn from each other. A facilitator of communication allows students to take risks, experiment with, and learning from their mistakes. This is capable by teacher and student relationships. Yolk suggests that whilst transformational theory isn't itself does not identify possible negative outcomes, other researchers have noted situations where they might occur, where the intended outcome is to increase in performance. favoritism towards certain students. My initiative accounts for this by allowing for a balance between stakeholders. For example, we needed to ensure that we set time for students and teachers to discuss the learning that's happening around the Chromebooks and have time to ask questions if they were stuck on something. Leaders transform followers by making them more aware of the importance and values of task outcomes, and followers feel trusted and respect toward the leader and therefore are motivated to do more than originally expected. My kids, when I first gave them the Chromebooks and we first started doing learning tasks on the Chromebooks, I expected quite the bare minimum from them as they were juniors, but as they started to work with their buddies and started to get used to using the Chromebooks, what they were doing on them and their intended outcomes of their tasks were really working and helping them to raise student achievement. Using aspects of transformational theory was appropriate as it allowed the intended outcomes of the initiative to be shared with students and teachers. So my plan. So far, my plan has just involved in stage 1 within my class. So Dalwick states that within a classroom culture that supports a growth mindset, teachers can design meaningful learning tasks and present them in a way that fosters students' long-term achievement. So within my classroom, I've been doing lots of authentic learning tasks using the Chromebooks and the authentic learning tasks with their buddies collaboratively to raise student achievement in my classroom. It's allowing me to also see the evidence, so I can go onto their Google Drive and see what they've been working on, and that provides evidence to support my OTJs. My next part of my plan is to take my evidence to senior management and get them on board to roll out more Chromebooks through the junior school. So if I have the evidence to show that these Chromebooks are working and that they are raising student achievement, then senior management might get on board to roll more Chromebooks out through the junior school. The third part of my plan is to actually get the junior school on board. A lot of the teachers in the junior school have a fixed mindset and don't want change. They think that the Chromebooks are too hard for them and they won't be able to, and the students in their year 2s, year 1 classes won't be able to use them. But with me having the evidence of this actually working and it raising student achievement, I might be able to develop their mindset to a growth mindset and for them to give it a go and give it a try with me there to support them and my class there to support them next year. How does this fit in with our Calvin Road strategic plan? So our strategic plan at the moment from our board is to, number 1, design a future-focused curriculum that will motivate and engage learners through inquiry learning. I think that the Chromebooks can foster the inquiry learning, and it's definitely allowing for future-focused curriculum. Number 2 is accelerate student achievement in reading, writing, and mathematics through the development of teacher pedagogy. So through my development through the Chromebooks in my classroom, I'm able to accelerate student achievement in reading, writing, and math by designing these authentic learning tasks with the Chromebooks. The third one is to enhance student achievement through strengthening relationships with homeschool and transition education. So students are now going home and talking to their whānau about what they're doing on the Chromebooks and what we've been doing in class. I've also been creating quite a lot of QR codes that we've been sending home in school newsletters and in sample books for whānau to see what they've been doing on the Chromebooks so they can look at it at home. And number 4 is develop opportunities for students to utilise digital technology safely and responsibly across the curriculum. By incorporating the Chromebooks into my daily routine, students are utilising them across the curriculum, not just for writing, not just for reading. We've been using them across the curriculum. Reference list.